So this is not today. Cool. All right, now we're here. So, all right, well, we're just gonna get started and go down the agenda here. So, June 2nd, 2021. Hello, everyone. Welcome. This is going to be the first Octant community meeting in June. Half the year is almost over. So, I guess the first item on the agenda that we want to talk about is to welcome Kara. She is the new manager of the Octant team, and if she would like to have a few words to introduce herself, that'd be awesome.
Sure. I'm super excited to be here. My name is Kara. I just joined yesterday, so I'm very much in listen and learn phase. Yeah, that's about it. I've been with VMware for 9 years, so I've just transitioned and super excited. So just taking in all the information as quickly as I can.
Awesome. Thank you. This is pretty cool because VMware is investing more resources in open source and specifically Octant, and we've seen the team grow. And so hopefully over time we can make Octant into a more robust tool and also just be able to have more people to branch out into different areas of focus. So super exciting stuff. All right, cool. The next item on the agenda I want to talk about today is something that came out of an issue or a bug that's been in Octant for 2 releases now. This is 2498, fixed bug where actions are not passed to components. Right, so the idea here is that, is Chrome frozen? Chrome might be frozen. Come on. Oh no. Nope. Just that tab, maybe? Oh, here, we're back. Yeah. All right. So the idea here is that specifically this pattern has been used only once for something called a card component, where if you add this action metadata to it, it will do this magical thing where it will show a little button on the bottom of the card and it will allow it to perform some arbitrary action. I think the modern pattern, or not modern, but the pattern that we tend to prefer now is to attach actions to things that users interact with, like buttons and any type of toggles, forms, and such. And so given that consideration, I want to start the discussion here in public to ask if we want to keep this as part of a component API moving forwards to 1.0. There are a few things to consider here. The first one is that it will require a refactor to the card components to use the newer pattern where we manually create a card with a divider and a new button, and we can have the actions work this way. But also just to figure out if we even need this at all. So we can certainly refactor this out and it'll certainly simplify the code base by saying there is only one way to attach an action to a component, and it is only through these components which allow actions. Yeah, so general call out. Does anyone have any strong opinions about this if we were to remove this prior to 1.0?
We talked about this a little bit yesterday at stand up, but I think it's good to repeat it for the meeting. I'm leaning towards removing this I guess feature on the component, but then replacing it with an equivalent using a proper, add buttons, attach the actions to the buttons type thing. Just so instead of completely removing the feature, just kind of replacing it with the modern equivalent of what it should be, as you were saying, like attaching actions to things that users interact with. Because I was, as I thought about this more, and I went back and looked at some of the demos we've done and just general usage, I actually have used this Not recently, but I like in the past, I would use it quite a bit. And I think anyone watching some of the demos or anyone looking to quickly like tweak knobs on a deployment or some other resource that we expose these quick edits on, they're likely going to want to, like, they're gonna see that used and then be like, where'd that go? So that's kind of where I'm at with it now.
Cool. Yeah, and I certainly agree with that. We've definitely when we first implemented this, the YAML editor wasn't a thing, and now, given that it's still a thing, there is value in keeping these knobs. Over time, I don't know if there's one that's preferred within the more recent releases, but I think just for the sake of making sure that our old videos are valid, I think that is a reasonable thing to keep in there, and it's not too difficult to transition to the equivalent. I think as Leah mentioned as well, this does affect the sample plugin, so there's going to be a few places that involve code changes, but nothing too complex. Okay, cool. Well, I think based on the outcome of this discussion, there's not really too many strong opinions on this one. So I'm going to say create an issue to remove, and we can maybe see this in O.2 too, maybe. We can decide that later. All right, cool. Well, if there is nothing else, I think we've already made up our minds here, so we can move on to the last bullet point before open Q&A, and this is for O.21. So let's see, we can go to our projects board here and figure out what work is stopping us from O.21. So just a quick reminder for anyone watching this. We are technically targeting the release
a little bit, Sam. Sorry.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Perfect. Thanks.
Cool. Yeah. So for anyone watching this, we are technically targeting the release for yesterday. Today, I think it's possible. I'd say unlikely. We're probably looking to land 2376, the horizontal stacking of fields. We want to land this. So we've got some ambitious things going, and I think these are in reviews. We don't really have code freezes or anything like that, but there are certainly, and probably even 2520 as well. And yeah, like if these are pretty cheap to review and move forward, I think that's fine. And then, yeah, so we've got quite a few PRs remaining to land. That said, for any remaining work on O.21, I think we can pretty much, the existing in progress work that's not being reviewed, I think we can move the rest over to the next release.
I think there's some housekeeping on that needs to be done. I can take care of that. Just to, like, I know the horizontal stacking is in review. The resource viewer, Milan, is the expand collapse nodes, that's in progress, right? That didn't work.
That's still in progress. That should go to 22.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So I think everything else is pretty accurate now. I moved one over. Yeah, looks pretty good now.
Config location on Windows. Not Windows. There we go. Cool. All right. So yeah, we can clean this up. We're certain, I think, reasonable target, like realistically speaking, I'd probably see this more towards Friday, honestly. And we can certainly adjust the cycle of these dates to match up with what our normal length of a sprint would be. So we'll do some housekeeping with the boards. We don't have to do it right now, but we're going to gear up towards like finalizing for 2.1 pretty much now.
Yeah, I'd say what's in review is left for O.21, and then we will, everything that's not in review will get bounced to O.22, and then we'll, next community meeting, we'll prioritize and kick off O.22.
I'll have a small PR for 21. There's an issue with the file upload, new file upload button when used inside the tabs view, and I discovered that yesterday, and it's a very small fix. I'm just doing final testing on that, so hopefully I'll have that in an hour or so.
Cool. Cool. Any questions, comments, concerns? I think I will formally throw this on the meeting, let's say Friday, and June 4th. There we go. So we'll throw this as a new target. So hopefully, and it's not all. And with we typically have a lot of releases delayed, but I think it's this one is particularly ambitious. I think it's all right.
There were some larger items in this one that I think are kind of important to it. The other thing, which we've talked about in past community meetings, of just getting into the habit of picking a day, releasing what's landed, and then releasing again sooner, right? Instead of like forcing it and saying like, we're delaying 21, we release 21, and we release 22 sooner. But every time I think about doing that, I'm like, well, issue 6, if issue 60, number 65, which is the auto update client, was if we had a good solution for that, then I would be on board with just cutting when we cut. But without auto updating, I don't want to put that extra burden on the user to go and redeploy every 4 days.
Yeah, certainly there's context to these sort of things depending on the feature that we landed, might or merit release.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, that's all I have to say about the release. Any other questions, comments, concerns? All right. Then we're moving on to open Q&A. So anyone have questions? I'm also glancing at YouTube on this alternate laptop here. It doesn't look like there's much traffic at the moment.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything today. The only one that I was the one that was in the agenda about the card action. So, this is a related. So Liam was working on some plugin, the TypeScript plugin fixes, and was generating a new version there. And I think there are some component changes in upstream that are going to land with the tab, with the horizontal stacking of fields and the tab component nesting, or tab component. It's nested because we already use tabs, but it's just making the tab component a component. So I think, I guess my question there is, we'll probably want to hold off on, is that a question? No, that's not how questions start. We want to hold off on the two PRs from Liam, because I think specifically the one that's regenerating the set of components is probably going to need to get regenerated after tab components and the horizontal stacking of fields lands.
Yeah, if I could just, so I think that's definitely a good idea for the Octant plugin for TypeScript. The current PR that Sam's looking at, that's just renaming a variable, so I don't think that's going to be impacted by any other new components being added or modified.
Cool.
Yeah, my bad. That is the wrong repo.
The TS. What is the name?
Plugin library.
Eagle made us use. Yeah. Plugin library for Octant. Yeah. So there's a PR there. Yeah. That's we'll since we're doing you know what, this brought up a thing I was thinking about this as I was looking at this PR. Do we want to just go ahead and jump the the version numbers on our plugin library for Octant and make it match our Octant release numbers?
That would be awesome, I think.
Yeah, there's no reason not to.
Right.
People just install the latest from NPM anyway. But that would really help. I think that would help us. Like when someone's posting an error and they say, "Oh, it's 0.22 is where the error is," then we know, and they're using Octant 0.25. Like, hey, go update your library. Instead of now, we're like, what version of Octant did we use to generate 0.3?
Yeah, I just incremented with npm. 0.3 is the next version. I think it's on like 0.2.2 or something right now. So yeah, we could just bump it up all the way to 0.21 or 22.
Yeah, that would be great. So let's Sam's linking those in, perfect, and then excellent. That's all I had. Anyway, does anyone disagree with making those libraries match up? Or making those versions match up, not libraries? Great.
No, I think version numbers are arbitrary things. If it's helpful, then change it.
Yep. Cool. That's all I got. That'll also make it really convenient when we start to generate this plugin library for Octant from a GitHub action. Because then as we're landing them, when we push a tag up to Octant repo, that tag will be used to generate the library, and that same tag will be used to version it.
Yeah, definitely. And that's also going to be a fun automation project, depending on whoever wants to take it up, because you'll get to write a custom GitHub action and publish it to the marketplace, presumably. Cool. Any other Q&A? Going once. All right. Well, I think that wraps it up for today. All right. And well, if there's no one has anything else, thank you for coming, and I'll see you all next.
Yeah.